We're starting off looking at the intraday chart of the S&P 500 of Friday's action. We got the non-farm payrolls report, and we wound up with a nice big gap up open in the morning on Friday, taking us, opening at 46.99, taking us up and over 4,700 to a new all-time high at 47.18. But then we fell off of that high, and around 1 o'clock in the afternoon ended up breaking down below our open, which had been our low of the day, our initial balance low, and gap support to Thursday's close, and we came all the way back down and nearly filled the gap, but reversed by looking above that and reversing. But we had a lot of trouble getting back into the initial balance range at the end of the day, and we failed to close above the initial balance low, and we failed to close up there in that initial balance range, and we failed to close above 4,700. So right now, for all intents and purposes, we have the 80 handle rule playing out before our eyes. We took a look above 4,700 and failed, but our sellers couldn't push us back below 46.80. But then at the same time, at the end of the day, the buyers couldn't get us to close above 4,700. So it remains to be seen what is ahead of us next week. Are we going to take one more push higher above 4,700, and are we going to try and go that distance into that sort of unknown area from 4,700 up to about 4,735 or so? We see this always happen when we turn over the odometer like this. Are we going to make it maybe to about 47.35 or so, 47.40, and fail, and then come back down and finally break back down below 4,700 and break 46.80, and maybe finally get some profit taking going in this market, an interim top? Or are we going to keep going the distance and push our way all the way to 4,800? And if we make it to 4,800, we're going to have sort of a double 80 handle roll thing going on, because 48 is going to be the gateway to 4,800 is going to be the gateway to 5,000. So there could be a move in store for us. Maybe we just make a shallow pullback, turn around, make it over 4,800, and we go to 5,000 into the end of the year and the beginning of next year. Or we're going to fail miserably at the 4,800 mark and finally have our interim top there. Or we're failing right here and not even going to make it all the way to 4,800. But just keep those things in mind, because the 80 handle rule doesn't just apply to the end factor of the number. It applies, in those digits that keep moving to the left. Okay, so that's the intraday chart. When we look at our quote-unquote simplified daily chart, I introduced to you in the one video I did last week. I didn't do a weekend video last weekend because it was Halloween, but I did a midweek, little short 4-minute video, and I introduced you to this bear fork, because we have these really nice clean swings that we can put one on. And I said that as we intermittently top, we'll keep moving the third rail of this fork to go along with those highs, and then we'll watch for the process to top out and fall back towards the median line. Well, I went ahead and I also put a bull fork on here, just backing up one more swing from where this bear fork starts out. And this bull fork that starts from the May low. Second point is the September high and this huge rally that we made over the whole summer, and then the pullback to the October and Q4 low. When we extend that bull fork out, we see that we aren't quite there yet all the way to the top of it. So if we do have a little bit further to go, maybe we can judge where our high tops out using the top of this bull fork. And right now, the top of this bull fork would get us to about 47.35 on Monday, and it will keep moving a little higher with each day that goes on. And then once we pull back off of our high, our first stop might be the median line of this bull fork. And then if that breaks, then we go on to the median line of the bear fork. So this just adds more enhancement to the tools that we can use to judge where our places where we're going to top out and where we're going to pull back. And right now, the median line of this bull fork aligns nicely with the 20-day. The 20-day is rising very quickly. In a couple of more days, it's going to rise right up to this median line, because this is a static. This is set. This bull fork, that none of the points are going to move on it. It has its swings already set in place, but the bear fork, on the other hand, is still awaiting where the top will be to form that third point in it. So if we were to pull back, say if this was it and we have topped out, you can see that we looked below the top of the bull fork and failed. Maybe we pull back here to test the 20-day, and we either hold or break the 20-day and hold or break the median line of the bull fork, and we fall back down to the median line of the bear fork, which aligns perfectly right now with the 50-day. So some interesting stuff going on there. When we look at our roadmap, this is just taking all of that and looking at it in a much more close-up version with more details. We have our gap to Thursday's close. If that breaks, that 46.80 handle, if that breaks, we're going to fall back to the 10-day, fill in some more gaps along the way. Once we break the 10-day, we've got this other gap here that's going to come into alignment with the 20-day. We know that the bull fork median is right in this area. When we look at the other chart, and if that breaks, we've got another gap here and the 50-day, and we know the median line of the bear fork is in there. And right now, I bet you if we were to add a halfway back into this mix from this high to this low, the halfway back's probably right in here as well. So we're just waiting for where the exhaustion point is going to be. Is it going to be here and now, or do we need to look at some other stuff to figure that out? Here is a daily chart of the VIX futures. And you can look to the left here and see how we absolutely ragingly, broke out here to a new high on VIX futures when we were first started into our sell-off in September, when we made the September high, and that top point that's on that's one of the main points on our bull fork as well as our bear fork was right here, and you can see VIX futures shot away all the way up to here. Well, where are we now? I mean, we've gotten nowhere near that high on the VIX this time around with anything that's been going on. So we have a lot higher to go. And if you were looking at this as, the chart of just simply a stock, I mean, I would say, all right, here was one bottom, here was a bounce that failed, but now we've come back down, and this looks pretty bullish to me. So if you're bullish the S&P, you don't want to see a bullish looking move like this on the VIX. What you want to see is a bearish looking move on the VIX. And you can see that the VIX bottomed way back on the 18th, and it's making a higher low here with a higher high on the S&P, and that's not what you want to see. So this is kind of on our side. We want to see that the VIX keeps moving higher, and it's got a long, long way to go before it would top off in terms of where it was back on September 20th. All right, final thing, let's take a look at some options here. We're going to be looking at the November 12th options this week. That's the Friday expiration. You can see the volume leader on the put side were these 4600s. But I was looking at these 4650s and calling these out. Actually, these are the volume leader. What am I talking about? These got down to $8 flat at our high of the day on Friday. And they ended the day here up at 13 bucks. So if you're in those, if you followed that call out, good for you. Over on the call side, though, look at these 4700s. These have a huge amount of outstanding interest, open interest at over 29,000 of those, and they had high volume on Friday. Maybe these were profit takers into the high of the day, or maybe these are people shorting them. It remains to be seen. We'll have to see what this open interest looks like on Monday, if it has gone down quite a bit or if it has gone up. Okay, so that's something to look out for. That maybe will give us a clue as to what's going on. But this really is like a favorite point to take profits and to short an option, is that $20 to $25 level. And we'll have to see if these continue to hold $8 here. These can be supplemental indicators for us, along with our charts and so forth, as to where the market is going. Okay, that's it. I hope I didn't confuse you too much with this talk about the VIX. This gets a little bit wonky, I know. But this is pretty exciting stuff here on this chart. I love it when the planets align like this, and if you've been with me for a while, you know that these forks are crazy, crazy accurate, how they all work out. Okay, that's it. Have a great rest of your Sunday. As always, good luck and good trading.